Hi everyone, I'm Liz, and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for Flosstube episode 81. Welcome back to another Sunday Flosstube video. I hope everybody has had a good couple of weeks. Sorry for the unexpected day off last weekend, but yeah, we had some family time over at my uncle's house and just did some food and an Easter egg hunt for the kids and hung out, and it was great. And I just really didn't have time to film that weekend, so just thought, let me wait until now. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and warn you, I won't be here next Sunday because it's my wedding shower. Yay, that's exciting. So my wedding shower is next Sunday afternoon, and I don't think I'll have time on Saturday to film. So yes, it's looking like an every other Sunday schedule for a little while. And that may be my new norm. I'm not sure. I haven't fully committed. I don't know. I have returned back to in-person work. So far, 1 day a week for the last 2 weeks. This upcoming week and next week are 2 days a week. Then it goes to 3. So I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, the 1 day a week. Because it was just super fun to see everyone, and it felt very first day of school where you're just like, oh my gosh, hi, I haven't seen you, except instead of 3 months, it's been 2 years. So that was a lot of fun. I haven't caught COVID yet, fingers crossed. I have to like test myself now like every 3 days. So yeah. And I'm one of the people who hasn't ever caught it during the last 2 years. So I'm like trying to keep that streak going, but we'll see, because I'm definitely around a lot of people now, twice a week. I definitely noticed the last 2 weeks that the day I was in the office, when I came home, I was just, I did not stitch or sew that much. I was very tired. I know I'll get more used to it, but yeah, I was definitely a lazy bones after those 2 days in the office. So we'll see what happens moving forward. So that's why I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, it might go down to like every other week. We'll see what happens. Leading up to the wedding, I have my bridal shower and I have some other stuff going on, and then also I'll be gone for a couple of weeks for my wedding and my honeymoon. So the videos may be sporadic, until I get back and kind of get adjusted. So just keep an eye on my Instagram. I'll try to like update people there if I know I'm not going to be filming a video, or I'll just post, something like I did on Easter here on YouTube. So, okay, that's enough boring stuff. The past 2 weeks, what have I been up to? I finished my single girl quilt last time I saw you guys. Thank you all so much for the love on that video, and I'm so glad you enjoyed seeing the long arm quilting process. I used a computerized pattern, so it wasn't me actually quilting, but it was how I set my, quilt up and let the machine do its job. So that was great. And my mom actually went and took the training class at the same place this week, because her local quilt shop that was offering rentals, it's kind of changed how it does stuff. Anyway, so she wanted to switch over to the place I use. So that's fun, because now mom and I can coordinate appointments and maybe go at the same time and hang out and chit chat while our quilts are quilting. So I'm looking forward to that, Mom. We need to coordinate, because I've got a quilt almost ready to go, which I'll show you later. What else have I been up to? I can't think of anything that exciting. Well, okay, I've been doing like face appointments for getting ready for the wedding. Maybe this is like gonna reveal a little too much about my vanity, but I have a lot of makeup on to cover it, but I did a laser facial. It's called photo facial, where they basically, so I have like rosacea, I have pink cheeks, and I've got a lot of like sunspots, and I think they're called angioma, the like little you know, the little like red dots some people sometimes get. So I had done this a few years ago and it worked really well. So I thought for the wedding, I'll do it again. And so basically somebody lasers all the blemishes off my face. And I did that this week, which when you have it done, it like, they call it peppering. You get like little black dots all over your face from the laser and then they fall off and your skin is beautiful. So right now I have the peppering where I've got like little black dots. So I like put on a lot of makeup to try to cover that. But hopefully next week it'll be, you know, glorious blemish-free skin. Am I gonna leave all this in? Whatever, it's fine. Another like cosmetic thing I did was I had a chip on that front tooth for the last like 4 or 5 years, and it wasn't that big of a chip. Basically, instead of my tooth being like flat along the bottom, it kind of did like an arc, like there was just a little, you know, bump in my tooth basically. And when I was talking to my dentist, like last time I was there for a cleaning and I mentioned I was getting married, they were like, oh, do you want us to like fix that chip in your tooth? And I was like, what can you do for that? Like, I don't want a veneer. And they were like, oh, no, we'll just put like a filling on it. And they were like, but the only thing is whatever color the filling is, that's the color it'll be forever. Like as long as the filling's on your tooth. So were you planning on doing any teeth whitening ahead of the wedding? And I was like, yeah, but I hadn't like fully decided. So they were like, do the teeth whitening, then get the chip fixed. That way they're all the same color. Oh my gosh, why am I talking about this? Whatever, it doesn't matter. That's what I've been up to. So I got my teeth whitened. I did Zoom whitening, which I don't know if any of you guys have done Zoom whitening. It's like Philips Zoom whitening. It's like a branded thing you can do at the dentist's office. And it worked so well. It worked so well, but it hurt so bad. So bad. I don't think I would ever do it again. Like, no. I love the results and I feel like my teeth are much brighter white than when I started, but it hurt so bad. It was just like, I don't know. They just said like, oh, you might feel some tingling. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like a little bit of sensitivity. No, it was like lightning bolts firing through my mouth. So anyways, I don't recommend Zoom whitening unless you have a lot of pain pills and a very strong tolerance for pain. Anyways, that's what I've been up to. I've been up to, you know, zhuzhing up my face for wedding photos. Yeah, okay. I've also been sewing and stitching and watching TV. We've been rewatching Veep, which is one of my all-time favorite shows. That's been fun. I've been watching the basketball playoffs. I always feel so weird when I take 2 weeks off. Like I don't know how to do a Flosstube anymore. And I'm like, what should I tell them? You guys, you know, you tell me. What do you want to know? Let's get into the stitching because I have had 2 fun finishes these past 2 weeks that I want to show you. So the first thing I finished was Spring Doodles by Heart and Hand. And I stitched this, I customized it for my niece Isla, who is 1.5. She'll be 2 in July, end of June. Oh no, Isla, I hope you're not watching this. I forgot your birthday. I'm pretty sure it's the beginning of July. And I have ordered a frame for it. So I am almost ready to FFO it, but here is my finish. So I used all of the called for colors, and then the only modification I made was where it was charted to say bloom. I switched it to Isla and I added a little flower to kind of fill it out so it was, you know, all the right size. But yeah, I absolutely love how this turned out. I think it's so cute. I stitched it on 36 count vintage country mocha linen and all the called for color. Oh no, I'm sorry. I stitched it on 32 count because I stitched this one 2/2. So yes, 32 count vintage country mocha linen, 2/2 with the called for colors. And I have ordered a frame actually, I'll put a picture of the frame up here. It is from a website on Etsy, or a store on Etsy called Signed and Numbered. And it is the shop that Lindy Stitches recommends for her bird series. They have some really cool frames. And so I found a really cool frame in the right size I need. I think I ordered a 6x6 or a 5x5 to fit this little guy. And hopefully it should be here this week so I can get this fully framed and finished. But yeah, I just absolutely love how this turned out. These little doodle designs are so cute. So I might need to get some more of these. Okay, so my next finish that I had these past 2 weeks was my scissor sampler by Tell and Emblem. I just could not put this one down. I stitched this and I think it only took me about 3 weeks. So 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, this is the one I saw at market, had to have, had to start, had to finish. You know, there's just sometimes those pieces that, like, even for like a non-monogamous stitcher, I feel like there are some pieces that just grab me and I'm like, no, I'm not putting this down until it's done. I think I did that last year with the blue flower, wildflowers, or wildflower bloom, something like that. It was like my big blue flower piece that came out at market last year, or at Expo. So there's just sometimes pieces that jump out at me and I'm like, I have to stitch it right now. And that's what happened with Scissor Sampler. And now it's done. And I absolutely love it. I stitched mine on a piece of 40 count Picture This Plus Legacy. And I used the called for colors. The only modification I made is at the bottom pair of scissors, next to like the OPQRST, that pair of scissors was supposed to be silver instead of gold. But I changed the color of the scissors for 2 reasons. One, my favorite pair of scissors is a gold pair of gingers, and I have 2 of them. So I was like, well, those are my favorite scissors, so I'll just represent those on the sampler. But the real reason is because I could not find that DMC color that the silver was called for. And I got tired of looking and I was like, I'm just going to do 2 pairs of gold scissors. And so I did. So that's the only modification I made. Otherwise I used all of her called for floss. And I just think it turned out beautifully. I love the kind of chunky filled in leaves and the flower in the center. That's my favorite part. And then the scissors, obviously, like I love just, I don't think I've ever stitched scissors before. I've never done, like, I know Hands On Design does those cool kind of quilty, crafty themed ones. And I'm sure there's scissors on those. So maybe I need to look into those because I don't know why I really enjoyed cross stitching some scissors. But yeah, I can't wait to pick out a frame for this. This one is going to get framed. And I feel like so many different options for colors would work with this guy. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take this somewhere and find a cool frame. So yeah, that was my scissor sampler. Okay, so other than the 2 finishes, I had 2 whips these past 2 weeks, and the one I spent the most time on was my Consider the Lilies. I told you guys I was gonna put this one away, and then I didn't want to. Brenda from Brenda and Laura, she is getting ready to start this one. And who else is, oh, Christy Crosshatch Quilts just finished hers and it is spectacular. And I just keep seeing this, I just keep seeing people work on it. And I'm like, I need to just keep working on mine. I love it so much. It's just so huge that it's like, you know, it just feels so daunting. But yeah, I decided to keep this one out and work on it. And let me show you my progress. Alrighty, let's see if I hold this. I can never see what I'm holding. Okay. So I focused mostly on the bottom there, on the bottom right, getting those little motifs in place and working on my border flowers, which to me, working on the border is like having to eat your vegetables, because especially with this border is huge. This project's like 400 stitches wide. So of course the border is not just like a little, you know, dinky border. It's like a full on big border. And each one of those flowers takes me like at least a half hour to 45 minutes to stitch. So I kind of have to force myself to work on because I just want to work on the little motifs. But yeah, I worked on some border flowers and put in some motifs, and I just love working on this. It's just really fun to work on these little individual pieces and see it all come together as a whole. So I think I'm going to keep this one out for a while. We'll see what happens. If I come back in 2 weeks from now and I haven't worked on it, forgive me. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep this one out for a while. I'm stitching mine on 40 count R&R linen winter brew, R&R winter brew. And I'm using the called for colors, except I think I subbed out like a white and maybe a green that I couldn't get a hold of, but otherwise, I mean, it's, you know, it's in the spirit of the called for colors. So that is my Consider the Lilies. Okay, so last night I had a new start. I was like, man, I only worked on one thing that I didn't finish this week. What a boring video. Let me start something. But also, because I had finished Isla's cross stitch piece, I really wanted to get started on now Ben's, because I've stitched Charlie, Sophia, and Andy, their cross stitch pieces. Then I stitched Isla's, and now I just have little baby Ben left. And this is the one I had picked out for him, and it's from Ink Circles, and it's called Out There. And it's just a little jungle animal piece that I just have loved. I think I kitted this up as a potential stitch for Andy a couple of years ago, but I ended up stitching him a Prairie Schooler piece. So yeah, I decided to stitch this one for baby Ben. And I went ahead and got started. I'm using all the called for colors. And here is my tiny little start from last night where I stitched that weird little blue centipede shrimp creature in the corner. I don't know what that is. And then just some little vines and leaves and things. But yeah, I think this one's going to be so much fun. I really am excited to stitch the flamingos and the giraffes. The giraffes? Giraffes or girafes? It's probably not giraffes. And so I am using a brand new to me fabric. Let me see, what is this one? It is Fiber on a Whim 36 count cream and sugar. And so this is my first Fiber on a Whim piece, I'm pretty sure. And I think I got this from Fat Quarter Shop. They've started carrying some Fiber on a Whim and some other hand-dyed linens, which is cool because I think previously they were just doing the like pre-packaged like Zweigart and Witchelt stuff. But I've been seeing some kind of hand-dyed linens. So I grabbed this cream and sugar, and let's see, I think the called for was Aspen by Weeks, which seems like a pretty pale, slightly greeny piece. And I don't see a ton of green in this, but I feel like this cream and sugar was a pretty good substitute for Aspen. So it's 36 count, so I'm stitching one thread over two. And similar to Picture This Plus, this Fiber on a Whim 36 count feels like a tighter weave than some of the other hand-dyed linens, which I really enjoy. Like 36 count Picture This Plus is my favorite linen to stitch on. So this Fiber on a Whim feels very similar. So I'm gonna have to get some more pieces of this stuff. So that's my new start, and I'm very excited about it because it's very cute. Okay, so I've also been doing a lot of sewing the past 2 weeks, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've been seeing my progress on my Ruby Star panel quilt. Put a picture of the quilt up here for reference of what it will look like finished. And there are 25 blocks that make up the quilt top, and I have spent the last 2 weeks completing all 25 of those blocks. And so as of last night, they are all done. I think 2 weeks ago I showed you I had the first 4 blocks together, and now I have all 25. So I made a little video flip through of all 25 blocks, and I'll play it right now. those are all my 25 Ruby Star panel quilt blocks that I am so excited to have done. They all took about 30 to 45 minutes to make because I made them individually, like each block, instead of lining stuff up and chain piecing. And that's only because I followed the pattern's very specific pattern matching, like not pattern matching, that's like when you cut fabric specifically. Anyways, like fabric pairing, because each block needs to have, like, the star points and the backgrounds need to contrast so that the star shows up, and then it needs to coordinate or look nice with the center square, right? And so I deviated a little bit from the pattern on the center squares. I chose my favorites from the panel, not necessarily all the ones they used in the quilt, but I did follow their fabric pairings for the points and the backgrounds. And so once I had everything like lined up and matched up, then I sewed each block individually to make sure I didn't like mess up my placement, basically. So I probably chose a slightly inefficient method of putting it together, but that was so I could make sure everything was put together the way I wanted it. Oh, there was actually one tip I wanted to share with you guys that I found super useful. Let me grab it. Okay, so because there were 25 blocks in the quilt, they were all labeled A through Y. So like A block used these fabrics, B block used these fabrics. That's how the pattern had everything organized. And I know there are products like the Fat Quarter Shop sells alphabetties, which are little alphabetical markers to like help you mark your quilt squares, like once you've cut out quilt pieces, but before you've sewed them together, to help you remember what each piece is for. They have these like little identifier blocks or labels, I guess. And I didn't have any because I've never really made a quilt where I would need those, I don't think. And so what I did, I have these packs of Post-it notes that are full sticky. So you can see at the bottom, this is the only part that's not sticky. So that lets you kind of like get your thumb under there. But otherwise, this is a full like Post-it note sticky piece. And so what I did is I cut a bunch of these Post-it notes up and I just grabbed my little pile. So this is like, oh my gosh, this is, why am I even trying to show it like this? Like there's H or that's I. That one's H. Anyways, I basically cut up a Post-it note and made myself tiny little labels that I could stick on to the fabric so that I could help sort out my stacks and know which was block A, which was block B, which was block C. And it was super helpful. So now I just have like this pile next to my sewing machine of all my little labels that I took off as I was sewing. But these packs, like I always talk so fast. Like I get so excited about Post-it notes, about anything. When I was moving a couple of years ago, I Googled full sticky Post-it notes because I didn't know it was a thing. These are called super sticky. I think that's what the full ones are called, super sticky. And so I bought a bunch of these in different colors. So when I was moving, I would write like each color had a different room. So it's like master bedroom, guest bedroom, office, sewing room. And I could put them on all the different boxes. And since it was a full Post-it, it wouldn't just come right off. So that's why I have all these weird Post-it notes, and it worked out really well for this quilt. So if anyone, I don't know, I just thought I would mention it because I find these super handy and I've been using them all up over the last couple of years. And if you need a way to mark your fabric or mark pieces, I recommend these. You can get them on Amazon. So next steps is I need to cut out all my sashing. I started that last night. I have about half the sashing cut out, so I need to cut the rest, and then I need to cut my little foundation squares, and then I can put together the quilt top, which is very exciting. I did have a goal in mind to try to get the quilt top together by next Saturday, less than a week from now, because Rob will be in San Antonio that day with a friend, and I thought maybe that'd be a good day to book a quilting appointment. But now I'm like, I don't know if I'll actually get the whole top together. I don't know. I mean, it'll go quicker than the blocks because really it's just sashing. I could probably do it. Okay. It's the goal I'm going to set myself this week, even though I'm going back to the office twice this week. So those evenings might be kind of shot. Okay, I'm gonna have a think on that, but that's the plan. That's the next quilt that is gonna be done and finished and quilted. And then I don't know what I'll start on next. Maybe my ladybird quilt, or I have quite a few in progress quilts that could probably use some love and getting done. I've just been in a real quilt mood lately, so I want to keep this quilt train rolling. Okay, so that is what I've been up to sewing and stitching wise. I got a couple of things in the mail I want to share with you, and these are items I purchased. I belong to a few different clubs at the Fat Quarter Shop, and I got my NPI silk floss in the mail. And actually, I opened the packages, but I haven't looked inside, so let's be surprised together. This one is my NPI club, and this one is my Ruby Star club. So, the April 2022 club is, Simply Taupe. So it's like all the different creams and browns, which admittedly looks boring, but I bet will be super useful when in terms of like, you know, actual colors used in different charts. I bet these are used a lot. So I got Simply Taupe from April, and these are definitely colors that I don't have on hand. So glad to add those to my stash. And then my Ruby Star. Oh my gosh. I love this. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Maybe I should have opened it ahead of time. Look how cute. It's all their different like new basics. Like, okay, so it says hole punch dot, tomato, and starry. Oh, how cute. Sorry for the glare, but yeah, it's just like all their little basics in these rainbow colors. It looks like I got a white thread this month, which is great. And then they always include a pattern for how to use the Fat Quarter bundle that you get with this club. And I love this pattern. I might just make this exact pattern as called for. How big is it? 65 by 84. Oh my gosh, what a good quilt size. Look at this super fun rainbow quilt. Oh, I love this. What else do you need? You need 4.5 yards for the background and borders. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay. I still have never made one of the patterns that comes in these bundles. I've used plenty of the fabrics, but I've never made one. My mom has used one of these quilt patterns to make a quilt before, because of course I share with my mom. So she took one of my quilt patterns and used it. But I think I really want to make this exact quilt. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Yay, I'm very excited about this this club pattern. This was from April 2022, and this is a quarterly club, so I get 4 of these a year. This is definitely my favorite one I've gotten in a while. I mean, I love all Ruby Star fabric, so every package I get, you know, I love the fabric, but I really love this rainbow collection and the rainbow quilt pattern, so yeah. Okay, fun. So that was my haul. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I feel like it's been 2 weeks, so I should have had more haul. But I really haven't been ordering anything. I've been a good girl. And okay, is that it? That might be it. Okay, so I also wanted to do a little giveaway this week. I told you, I think in the last video, I accidentally ordered another copy of What Remains Is Love, but this is already a whip. I already have a copy of this from the Traditional Stitches launch when it was an exclusive. And I didn't remember that this was part of the new releases from Blackbird Designs at Market. And so when I told Wendy at the Tinsmith's Wife, like, oh, send me all the new Blackbird stuff, I didn't remember this is part of it, and I already have it. So why don't I just give it away to one of you guys? So if you don't already have this and you'd be interested in stitching this Blackbird Designs What Remains Is Love, let's see, what word? Let's just use blackbird. So blackbird is all one word. So if you want to stitch the blackbird designs, just use the word blackbird in your comment and I'll know that you want to be entered to win. If you want to be eligible for a giveaway, you need to be a subscriber, like the video, and leave a comment with the word blackbird. And then you're entered. And then you have to be 18 and older, but I honestly don't think I have anyone who watches these videos who's younger than 18, but if you are, get your mom to enter. Okay, so that's my giveaway. And I can't believe that's it. I feel like I've been gone 2 weeks. I should have more to say, but I feel like I did a lot. It just was on a few different projects instead of spread out as like, you know, I normally do things. I've kind of enjoyed being monogamous on projects. Although, okay, so I've enjoyed it because I'm getting things to completion faster, but especially when I've been working on those quilt blocks, I'm just pointing at them because they're in a stack right next to me. When I was working on the quilt blocks the past 2 weeks, I really had to stop myself from starting a new project because I was sitting here at my sewing machine sewing the same block over and over again, And I was kind of like, oh, I've gotten like halfway through them. I bet I could, like, let me just treat myself and start on this other quilt. No, that is a recipe for 10 quilt whips, you know, sitting on a shelf and no finished quilts. And so I kind of forced myself, like, you are finishing all of these quilt blocks before you do anything else. And so I did. So I felt kind of boring, like, I guess this past 2 weeks because I was just working on the same thing, but I feel very accomplished because I got it done. So, you know, but it has been nice to like see things get complete, like the scissor sampler, eyeless piece. And to be fair, I was kind of getting sick of stitching on eyeless because it's 2/2 and that's not my favorite. I feel like my stitches don't look very nice on 2/2 and because I stitch in hand and, I just don't like messing with 2 strands. They get twisted, you know. So I had to like, I'm like, no, you're finishing this. You have a frame ordered, you're finishing this. And so I did. So hopefully my discipline will hold up these next few weeks. And of course I say that, but I don't really know what my next goal is. I know I need to finish my ring bearer pillow, although okay, so my nephews, Charlie and Andy, came over today and they needed to try on their ring bearer suits. And I think I showed you guys a picture, but anyways, they tried them on. They're adorable. I'll show you what they look like. And Charlie asked me like, will we each have a pillow to hold? Like they each want to hold one of the rings and a pillow. And I'm like, oh yes. Okay. So now I'm not sure that I'm actually going to use the piece I stitched as a ring bearer pillow, and I might just get 2 little ring bearer pillows, either pre-made or make them out of fabric, like not stitched, because they each want to hold one. And I mean, that makes sense. They can, like, you know, Charlie can hold mine, you know, Andy can hold Rob's. So, and I definitely don't have time or don't want to force myself to have time to cross stitch another ring bearer pillow. So I don't know. So I'm gonna have to like rethink that plan. So my ring bearer pillow situation might change, but don't they look cute in their suits? I had my sister who lives in Dubai with my 2 nieces. I had her like send me some measurements because obviously like they're not gonna have a chance to try on their dresses ahead of time, but I think they're good. Dresses I think are a little easier than like a 3-piece suit on a boy. Less, you know, a little more room for, you know, error on dresses. So yeah, okay. I'm just rambling now. I think that's where I'm gonna leave you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please enter for the giveaway if you're interested, and I will be back in 2 weeks and I'll share some fun stuff from my wedding shower, maybe, if I have anything fun to share from that. I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.